I think what was very important for my career was that after I studied medicine and human biology is to really search for good mentors which really make a difference, are enthusiastic about what they are doing, but also leave me space for my own ideas. So I was lucky also in internal medicine to have a great mentor. And after that, when I moved to San Francisco in California, I had a very enthusiastic mentor who taught me a lot about focusing on science and not to get too divided into too many subjects, and that it is important to really test your hypothesis in a deep way. Also, then I met Thomas Luger at the World Congress in Cologne 1998, and he from then on was a great mentor for me to teach me how to combine the basic science and clinical science. And he was mainly a mentor for translational dermatology before even this word existed. And he gave me the opportunity really to combine clinical science and basic research on a very enthusiastic level. And after that, I learned because of the system that maybe for my personality it may be good to go to United States, because in United States what is there that you can choose how many percentage you want to do clinics, research and administration, which gives you also a lot of freedom. And that was also I think the right choice at the right time for me, because it gave me the opportunity to go more into depth about neuroimmune communication, which I wanted to study. And in these 5 years in San Francisco, I was able to do that, which I couldn't have done in Germany. And then after that, the opportunity to lead a translational center in Dublin with a huge clinical clinic as well as Basic Science Institute is a dream for a physician scientist, to combine basic science and clinical research. So that mainly drove me the dream to combine all these basic science and clinical science, and I think these were the right choices. A good mentor, this has several levels. On the one hand, he has to see the personality of the person, because each person, whether it's a clinician or a scientist, is different, and you may need to have the possibility to sense how the person works perfectly, and how you have to guide this person, because each personality you have to guide in a different way. I think that makes an extraordinary mentor, to see how many closeness this person needs, how much freedom this person needs, and then just to be there, also to have the capability to walk away and then just supervise when there are problems. I think this is much more successful than always too much to control these personalities, because I think when you're young, you also have your own ideas, and it's very important that you follow your dreams and your enthusiastic ideas, which you're motivated. And I think if you can do this, then you can create very good scientists. The complex question is, I would see the ESDR has made great progress with respect to quality of lectures, also to focus on certain subjects, so that it's not too divided, where you, in some conference, you always run around between rooms and you lose a lot of time. But here I find ESDR has managed it very well, that to keep people into places for a long period of time, because they choose subjects which also make sense that you stay there. Like I was in this cell signaling lecture with different diseases, different pathways, but it's interesting. But it all makes then sense together, where you get new ideas. With respect to disappointments, I must say it's not really something I am disappointed about. I think it's still on a good way to become more translational. I think at this time it's becoming more and more important because, as we know, in many countries there are all these constraints with respect to have time for young clinicians to do also basic research. And it's also important for the ESDR to attract all the many young residents and researchers who are also involved in clinical science, and also to guide them, to give them opportunities to network, to give them the possibilities to meet industry partners. And I think that is already been implemented with the Saturday morning translational lectures, but I think if it gets also integrated more into some of the other lectures, then everybody will profit more if they also PhD sees what are the diseases really clinically where they are working on. I think for the next generation scientists, a key would be to give them the opportunity to have really valuable time in the lab, and I think this is what many people who want to do research are really missing because of the constraints of the hospitals, of the regulation that you have to do 120% clinical work. And for me, for example, was very important to have 1 year of during my residency where I could build up my lab. So if there are publications, some people have publications just start their career, to have a good kick-off start. And this is what many people frustrates, and what I saw in Ireland, in United States, and in Germany. So they come back with really good publications, and then they just get absorbed in the clinics, and with or the financial issues in the United States, that they cannot pursue their career in the field. They were really made a difference and could build a very good career. And I think this is something people have to spend more time and also need more support by the mentors. And I think it has to be regulated in a way which makes sense, in a tight way. But I think the extreme, which has now come probably from the development for 20 years ago, where it was the other extreme, it has turned into the opposite extreme. And I think we have to find a middle way, a grade where the positive things can be performed, and on the other hand, the conflicts can be protected. And I think this is at the moment too extreme in many countries.